Hey, 7th graders, got a fun little activity or a lab for you guys today called the Counting Populations Lab. A and B cohort, if you're watching this, you guys are doing this in class, so don't work ahead unless you are absent, and then DLI, this is your guys' video. This is where you guys are going to figure out how to do this. So your learning target for today is I can use multiple strategies to estimate the size of the population. So really we're going to look at two strategies for you guys today. So part one of this is called random sampling. Basically what random sampling is a technique that ecologists use to estimate the size of a population. So they choose a given area, so maybe I say my classroom, okay? And I count all the organisms of a specific species in my classroom or in that area. And then I kind of use that ratio to predict a larger area. So maybe I say, all right, in my classroom I have this many students, okay? But in the school, if the school is this big, then how many students would I have based on that? So for example, if I were to count 10 squirrels living in a 200 square foot area, so here are my 10 squirrels, I'm gonna use this, living in 200 square feet, and then I go to a park that's 2,000 square feet, I can kind of use this little ratio to guess how many squirrels would be in that bigger area. So this is just solving a ratio where I take 10 times 2,000, which is 20,000, divide it by 200. So then my answer for you guys would be right here, 100 squirrels. So 20,000 divided by 200 is about 100 squirrels, okay? So you guys are going to do one example similar to that. I'm going to let you guys actually do the math, but I'm going to go ahead and help you set it up. All right, so the question reads, a biologist collected 50 liters of pond water and counted 10 mosquito larvae. So 10 mosquito larvae were found in 50 liters of pond water. Okay, so there's one of my fractions. You can go ahead and set it equal, and this is going to be my second fraction. How many larvae would you estimate to be in that pond if the total volume, we had volume on the bottom, if the total volume of the water in that pond was 80,000 liters? Okay, so as much as I encourage you all to do mental math, those are some pretty big numbers to deal with. So you guys will be solving for x there. Okay, you guys would take 10. Oh, sorry, that's not a 10. You would take 10 times 80,000, and then you guys would divide that all by 50, okay? Obviously, that's hard math to do, so if you guys go ahead and right-click this link right here, you guys will pull up a calculator. You guys will use this calculator again, so I would leave it open if I were you guys. I pulled mine up in a different little screen so I can kind of have it showing while I work. So you guys can go ahead, calculate 10 times 80,000 divided by 50, and that will give you guys your answer as to how many larvae you guys would think would be in that pond that has about 80,000 liters of water in it, okay? All right, moving on to our next method. So this is the main method we're going to focus on today. It's called mark and recapture. So basically what mark and recapture is a scientist goes out and they're looking to count a specific organism in an area. So what I would do if I'm talking about my classroom is I would go out and I'd randomly pull 10 students in out of the hallway and I would mark them, okay? I could draw a Sharpie on their forehead, would probably be somewhat effective. Or in like real life, you guys would see like radio collars, transmitters, those kinds of things, little even tags, little bracelets around, like we're like talking about birds, stuff like that. So that's probably the more realistic version of what that would look like. So in this case, I would go out and I'd catch maybe like 10 students and I would mark them. I'd put a bracelet on them, put a radio collar on them, mark their forehead, whatever. Okay, and then I would release those students back into the wild of HMS. And then I would go back out a little while later and I'd put some snacks on the floor and I'd see how many students I catch. Okay, so I'm going to do this multiple times. The more trials, the better. And I'm going to look at those students that I caught and I'm going to count how many total students I caught. And then of those students that I caught, how many of them have been marked? How many of them have that bracelet or that forehead mark or whatever the case? Okay, and then I'm going to throw those back into the wild. I'm going to go catch another group of kids. I'm going to count how many total I have, and I'm going to see, again, how many of those I have marked. Okay, so those of you guys who are in class, they're going to be doing something similar. Those of you guys who are working from home, you guys are also going to be doing something similar, except you're going to be doing it via video. Okay, so here would be the procedure that the kids in class would have is they're going to obtain a bag marked with an individual item and number. You guys will see the same thing. We have an item. In your case, it's going to be tokens, and your number will be number 3. I have already captured 10 individuals, marked them, and returned them to the bag. And then you guys will be doing the recapture part. So you guys are going to scoop in, or you guys are going to see me scoop in, take out a random sample of those individuals in that population, count how many total individuals I caught, and then how many of those were previously marked. Okay, so then you guys will record all of that on the next data table. I return the animals, or in this case the tokens, and do that 9 more times so you guys have a total of 10 trials. So this is where you guys are going to collect your data on slide 6. So you guys can see 10 trials here. Total captured. So you guys will go ahead, right click this, open link, and you guys are going to watch this video. I go through your data collection in this video for you. Hey, 7. Okay, so watch this video. Each trial it's going to tell you, all right, you guys will see me count. How many total did I capture? And of those ones that I captured, how many had a mark on them? So you guys will listen to that video, collect all 10 trials of your data, and then you guys will use the calculator to add them up. So in those 10 trials, how many total did I catch? You're gonna need that number for the next calculation. And then of that total that we caught, how many had marks on them? So in 10 times, how many total had marks? Okay, so add those 2 up. Again, your calculator's right here. You can right click that. And then let's move on to the calculation as to how we actually estimate how big our population size is, or in this case, how many tokens are in this bag. So you guys are going to use this little formula here. This is your population estimate. This is what you're trying to find. So you guys are going to take the total number captured. That would be this part right. Let me grab a better highlighter. That's going to be this number right here. Okay, that's going to be your total number captured right here. Okay, kind of a bad color to use. And we're going to multiply that by 10. 10 shows us the number of individuals that we originally marked. So I marked 10 of those little tokens. Okay, so we're going to take, again, this number right here and multiply that by 10. And then we're going to divide that all by the total number captured with the mark. So that's going to be this total right here. So divide through by this number. So take this number, times it by 10, and then divide it by this number here. Okay? And that's going to tell you guys your population estimate. So you guys can go ahead and tell me what bag did you have. In this case, you guys will have the tokens, or the little yellow tokens, and it was number 3. So write on there tokens number 3. What was your estimated population size? You just calculated that, so tell me what you guys just calculated. And then finally, what's your actual? So you guys will right-click this link. You'll open that link, watch the video. It's not very long. It's about a minute long, maybe less than that, maybe 45 seconds. And that will tell you guys what the actual population, my actual population count is. So I kind of grouped them for you guys to count easily. That's going to be your guys' actual right there. Okay? All right, moving on. You guys have some questions to answer to finish up. So compare the actual size to the estimated size. That's on the last slide. Did you guys overestimate? Did you guys maybe get too much of an estimate, or was it under your actual? Okay, and then circle for this one. To get the most accurate results, would you generally do more or less trials? So circle either more or less. And then you guys have 2 examples to do right here. So you guys are gonna look at these examples, do this little population estimate formula that we just did on the tokens to calculate how many butterflies you think are in Wilson Park. You guys can use the draw tool to show your work and then type your answer in. Same with this one here. Here's your guys' formula. You guys again are looking at how many butterflies. So go ahead, show your work using the draw tool and then type your answer. Finally, complete your wrap up. Any questions, yes or no? If you have some questions, make sure you guys let me know if they're preventing you from doing this assignment. And then finally, 4, 3, 2, 1, how do you think you did? Great job today, and I will talk to you soon.